Yeah, so 8 years ago, just over 8 years ago, I was sitting on a bench down at the end of this promenade at about 4 a.m. when I called my mother to tell her that I had to go to rehab. At that point, I had been calling in sick from work for about a week because I was trying to come off of opiates, Vicodin. And anyone who's tried to kick opiates cold turkey knows it's pretty difficult. And the only thing I could keep down at that point was booze. So I wasn't eating, I was just drinking. And by the end of that night, by that week basically, I was drinking a half gallon of bourbon a day. It was the only thing I could get down. And it was just the worst. And I finally reached the end of my rope where I couldn't call in sick anymore. I had to face the facts that, like I was dying. Called my mom, and she drove down from upstate New York the next day. And that was 8 years and 1 month ago. Haven't had a drink since. Haven't had a pill since.
That's amazing, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
I come from a addiction household, something that my mother struggled with a lot when I was growing up, between various drugs and alcohol. It's something she's gotten over now and is a great mom to my baby sister, but it was something that I got to be the test child for, and she got to learn from her mistakes. Unfortunately enough, I feel like I was very resilient through the whole process and have grown up to, we have a great relationship now. But definitely some hard times in childhood. Sometimes waiting for, to make sure that everything would be okay with her. Times where she would show up, but I wouldn't want her there.
Tracking email when I log into my account, I can't see it.
Having to send her to, having to travel with her to her parents' place across the country to make sure she got better. Definitely a lot of years of struggle that ultimately, over the number of years that followed, resulted in a new, healthy, and happy person.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Tell me about your story with addiction.
My name is Tony. I have a lot of expertise with addiction, both personally and with the work I do. I've worked for 20 years trying to end the war on drugs, get people treatment and help instead of arrest and prison. Personally, my drug of choice is cigarettes. I love cigarettes. I love them so much. That's the only drug I would, even though I take many drugs like alcohol, cigarettes, weed, other stuff, cigarettes is something that I really can't just have one. If I do, I'll smoke a pack a day. So I quit 400 days ago. I'm actually using snus. This is how I get my nicotine now without burning smoke. And I do it because I still like nicotine, but smoking was more harmful for me. So that's my issue around cigarettes. But my basic also thought is that everyone in society is doing drugs. Again, weed, Prozac, shit to make you wake up, people to go to sleep, alcohol, cigarettes. Everyone's using drugs. Some people have okay relationships with them. Some people can have a couple cigarettes and not smoke for a couple weeks. Some people can have a few drinks. Some people have developed problems with it. And but the bottom line, no matter what your drug of choice is, we can never put people in cages because they use drugs. People use drugs for joy. People are hanging out, looking at this beautiful view, having a drink. People use drugs for pain, lose a job, COVID, loss of life, anxiety. people use drugs, don't put people in cages, offer them help. If someone doesn't have a drug problem, enjoy. If they do, give them some assistance, but never punish, never put people in jail. No more drug war. Enjoy your drugs.
In 2010, February 8th, I had a brain aneurysm, and that pain was so excruciating. I mean, it kept me, I slept the whole day at the job. I worked at Montefiore Medical Center. Nobody woke me up, nobody said nothing to me. But that day was the last day that I smoked cigarettes. And that was the last day that I drank too. Because all of that, I just didn't have that urge after that hit. And in 1989, my father, he had a massive heart attack. And he, before he died, he had called me and I said, "Why you calling me now? It's 12 o'clock at night. Ain't nobody coming to see you now. We'll see you in the morning." But I ended up getting up anyway because he died. He had a drink in his hand and he was smoking a cigarette and probably took a hit because he did a lot of cocaine and died with my little sister sitting on his lap. And then my sisters, they had a different mother than us, and their mother, she was an IV drug user. She died of HIV in Harlem Hospital. And when she was in the hospital, the water retained. She was so huge. She looked like an elephant. They had her up in the bed with these things holding her legs up and her arms up. And she died. And I didn't get a chance to see her in the funeral because I had just had my youngest son. But I've heard she looked horrible in her casket. But other than that, that's it.
The question is about addictions, right?
Yes.
And do I have addictions? Yes, I do have addictions. And every day I'm overcoming different addictions that I take on because some of them are pleasurable, some of them are painful. They're cycles though. They're perpetual cycles that we place ourselves in when we feel guilty to a certain extent towards that addiction, right? So if it gives us pleasure, like drinking coffee, we don't have a problem with that. We can drink as much coffee as possible and have a smile on our face, even though it gives our teeth brown looks, those are the drawbacks, but nobody questions that. It comes down to when we talk about addiction for, let's say, drugs, right? And what happens is because we have a stigma on addiction towards drugs in a negative manner, the people that are taking drugs wind up taking on that energy of feeling guilty, feeling neglected, and feeling like they want to escape from everything. And the truth of the matter is, they're only escaping their reality that they created because they're afraid of getting outside of their comfort zone, right?
Or judged. Or being judged.
Or being judged for being outside of your comfort zone, We're all individuals, however, within this addiction to wanting to be just like someone else, right? We fall prey to perpetuating that to other people. So yes, I am guilty of addictions. However, every day I try to work on myself to eliminate at least one of these addictions. Can I say victorious every day? No, I'm not victorious every day. But in the long run, I am victorious. And it makes me very happy to be able to say things like this to other people because if I can do it, you can do it. Addiction is only the way how we perceive things at the moment, right? And we perceive it to be a bad thing. So thank you for asking that question.
I really appreciate it.
And I hope that, this reaches the people that it's supposed to.
You have addiction with attachment, love, sugar, sweet,
social
medias, and I think that everything can become an addiction, but when you speak about drugs, it's different because it comes up when you don't think about it. Like the first time you do drugs, it's like something that is for experience, it's curiosity. Then you like it, and it's good, and it's a new thing that comes into your life. After it comes into your life, the point is, what is your objective? If you want to live chill and don't have big objectives, you can smoke weed and like it won't be a big problem if you don't have big objectives.
Right.
But
If you don't have like a big goal in your life.
yeah, in your life, you can't. But it has to be with parsimony. I don't know how you say it in English.
Yeah.
Like it has to be moderate.
In moderation.
In moderation.
So everything is in excess becomes
Everything
bad.
In excess becomes bad. Yeah, that's the point. But yeah, and I'm into like thinking about stopping smoking. I'm not
Right.
into big.
You smoke cigarettes?
I smoke cigarettes. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I smoke weed.
Right.
I have objectives.
Right. You have a
So
dream.
that's
You're
why-
working on
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. So
But
that's
we-
why
In what way
You get
smoking affected your life?
it gets you lazy.
It makes you lazy.
It makes you lazy first, and it makes you try to get isolate.
Right.
Yeah, isolate you.
Isolated.
From your family because you hide them things.
Right.
From your friends because you want to be alone smoking. And
So it affects your social life.
social life. Yes.
Right.
Yes, it's really not. It's not. But there is the factor that when you smoke, you can be socially good, like at parties or
Right.
shit.
For example, alcohol in the beginning makes you more
Alcohol
social,
makes you more social.
more courage.
But it has to be moderated.
moderation.
Yeah.
But after a
Everything.
while, if it's not in moderation,
Moderation,
it affects
that's
your life even worse.
Even worse.
Yeah.
And I know that every people that are bad people right now, like there's a lot of people that are bad people, and it's because of drugs, because of addictions,
Because of addiction.
because they need more,
Right.
because they go
They
crazy.
chase the high,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. So okay, so yeah,
Thank you so much.
I tried.
Thank you.